Hey guys, what's going on? It's Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about the Godox SL60W. So let's go ahead and get into it. First off, I want to give a huge thank you to Tommy Callaway. I'll link his YouTube and his Twitter and stuff in the description below. He was a huge help. He was very responsive on Twitter handling my questions. I basically just asked him, what light would you suggest for somebody that has a budget of like $200, and he pointed me in the right direction, and I can't say that I am not pleased 100% with this. So the SL60W is daylight temperature. There is also an SL60, which is tungsten light. So tungsten lights, as far as I know, are better for skin tones, but if you prefer using like a daylight temperature one just because it matches, run and gun low budget like indie film stuff, you could easily use the SL60W for like a daytime light in a scene. So just something to keep in mind if you ever do get into purchasing lights. As far as I know from all the other videos that I have watched, tungsten lights are just better for skin tones in general. So maybe if you're like a documentary filmmaker, maybe you might want to pick up the SL60 and not the SL60W. Just something to keep in mind. So when I asked Tommy on Twitter, like what the best light was for somebody that had like a very small budget, he pointed me in the direction of the Godoxes. So I paid I think it was $134.99 for the light itself, which comes with a bow in its mount. And then I bought a 24 by 24 square softbox. I'd never put together a softbox before, so it was a little like, didn't know what I was doing. I actually had to look up a video on how to do it, but once you put it together the first time, it kind of makes a lot of sense. I didn't really know what the like checkerboard thing was, but apparently that is a light diffuser. So it's like, it almost makes the light omnidirectional to where you're pointing it. So like right now I have the like honeycomb thing on there. I don't know really what you call it, but I have it on there. So like if I didn't have it on there, it would splash all the light behind me, but the little honeycomb thing's like whoosh, just right here. And I love it. It's great. Like I said, I've had it for probably about a month or two now, give or take. I basically, anytime I ever need to use the light, I barely ever use my Neewer CN160 lights anymore. I basically just pop that Godox out and go to town. The nice thing with it is, number one, you can plug it in and you don't ever have to worry about, number one, charging batteries or adding more batteries in the light system, or having the light die on you mid-video while you're recording because the battery that you had in it, or the batteries you had in it, died, and then you have to swap batteries, cut scene, go back to where you're shooting from, and then start all over again. I will say that when I first bought the light, what light stand I was using was the Amazon Basics little light stands. I mean, you got two of them for like 28 or 30 bucks or something like that, and it worked. It was a little sketchy because they weren't really heavy enough to hold the weight of the Godox, so I always like had this weird feeling that the light was gonna tip over just because the softbox that's on it, like, it really pulls it down forward this way. Never had that issue. I was definitely sketched out about it though. But for Christmas I did wind up getting it was a Neewer light stand, and this thing is pretty heavy duty. I don't think that it would ever fall over. I mean, maybe if it was like super windy and I were outside with the light, but other than that, I don't think so. Anyways, so the nice thing with the Godox is you get a little remote controller, so you can turn it on and off. You can turn the brightness up and down. I think right now I have the light set to 40%, and it's about maybe a foot and a half away from me over here. So my left, your right. And then the softbox is probably about 5 feet up and about 2 feet away. We'll say that. So I mean, right now I'm shooting at an ISO of 320 f2.8 at 1/50 of a 1/50th of a second in 4K. So I would say that's pretty good. Anytime you can get your ISO low to where you're not pushing your camera past a certain point while filming, I would say that's a good day. Other than that, I mean, I can't really say that there's a whole lot of like really in-depth details I want to go about this. I will say, as far as the SL60W goes, the fan is a little noisy, but I haven't picked any of it up in any of my videos. Right now I have a microphone right here, just out of camera. Right here. And the light is about 3 feet away from it. And I highly doubt you're hearing any of that. I'm sure if I turned the gain up, you probably could, but I'm not going to do that. Other than that, I mean, so it's just a daylight temperature light, super bright, especially if you need something for like a talking headshot like this. Maybe, like I said, maybe you're doing like some run and gun, like indie film stuff, and you just need like a cheap alternative light that you just need to like kind of throw in a case and drag around with you. Like I said, comes with a little remote control, so you can control it while you're sitting around not doing anything. You can turn it on and off. There's a little, on the mount for the light itself, there's a little like through hole where you can put an umbrella. So like if you're not using a flash but you're just using this, you can use that for like portrait photography and stuff. I use this to do like some self-portraits with, and it's pretty good, man. I will say that for the price, if you can afford to spend about I think I paid $40 for the softbox, and I paid like $138-ish, give or take, something like that. Yeah, so it's probably like around $175 to $180 for the softbox and the light. If you need a light stand, the Neewer one, I'll see if I can find it on Amazon. I will also link that in the video description as well. But just all around, I would say if you can spend about $200 on a good light, this is the one. If you're just getting into like filmmaking and stuff, if you don't need some giant super 300 watt light, like if you're doing just like indie run and gun documentary style stuff, talking headshots like this, interviews type thing, I think the SL60W will do you 100% good. And again, huge thank you to Tommy Callaway. Bro, if it weren't for you, I would still be rocking these Neewer CN160 lights. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, also give it a thumbs up. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.